The new rental controls that have been introduced is something the government has done in response to the spiking house prices, particularly in Riyadh. We've seen apartment prices increase by 96% since 2019. Villa prices have increased by 53% since 2019. And this hasn't kept pace with the level of salary increases across the kingdom. And so we've seen a lot of affordability challenges emerging, and that is also reflected in housing transactional data. For example, we've seen a 20% decline in the total value of home sales in Riyadh in the last 12 months, and the total number of homes that have actually been sold has dropped by 30%. And so the government has been working behind the scenes to try and control the housing market to an extent. I think the pressures are being felt most greatly in Riyadh, and this is because this is the center of Vision 2030. In the last 5 years, 63% of all the new jobs created in Saudi were in Riyadh. And in the last 5 years, we've had about 250,000 young Saudis moving to Riyadh for employment. So the housing market in Riyadh is where we are seeing the highest pressure on house prices. And these controls that have been introduced by the government are designed to help the end user. And we feel this is a really welcome move that will help to cool the housing market to an extent, because house prices today are at record high levels. I think the impact will probably ripple out from Riyadh, but today this is where we face the biggest housing crunch. But look, don't get me wrong, the housing story and the demographic story for Saudi is extremely positive. By 2030, we are forecasting the need for 830,000 new housing units just for Saudi nationals. So the demand is there, but what is being built and the current price points are well above what people can afford. We believe the demand story is extremely positive. We have a very young population in Saudi. 45% of Saudis are below the age of 25. This is where the future housing demand is going to come from. And like I say, we forecast the need for 830,000 units just for the growing Saudi population. But we need to be very careful about those price points because we've got big affordability challenges today. So the government's decision, for example, to open the market to international buyers is coming at a time where perhaps we are approaching a new peak in this housing cycle. But that demand on day one, when the doors are open to international buyers from the 1st of January, will be, we believe, focused on the holy cities of Makkah and Medina. Because when we carried out research on this, we found that global Muslim high net worth individuals are very interested in owning real estate in Saudi, but they want to buy it in Makkah and Medina, and they want to buy it for personal reasons, not necessarily for investment reasons.